Live. Caught me mid-drink. All right. You always think something's going to take longer to load or like to connect or someone's going to answer a ring later than they always answer on the phone call. But welcome to the Re-Listening Party. What's going on? I'm your host, Matt Cruz. This is the show where we talk to artists. We dissect and celebrate albums with the people who made them. I'm coming to you live from Riverside, California. Again, it is hot as hell. There's a lot going on out there. I went out into the universe today to try and get some refreshments to talk to our guest today. Things are tense, bro. Things are fucking tense out there. If you're feeling it, we're all in this together. Most of us are in this together. And let's just kick back. It's Thursday night. What we're gonna do is we're gonna celebrate with a friend of mine. His name is Braxy. He's out of Stockton, California. He's ready on deck. I love that. It's, punctual guests. So this is the Re-Listen Party. We're gonna talk to my friend Braxy about his album. We're gonna play some clips. And let's just get it going, man. This is the Re-Listening Party. I like to kind of chat with a lot of people that I know that are creative, and celebrate their projects once they're done with them before they move on. How am I trying to invite Braxy here? Braxy, can you send in a request to join? He's here on deck. He's ready to go. Last week, we were here. We talked to my friend K the Prophet. We also talked to Hero the Champ. We've talked to Big Z. We have talked to Cloud9 Trizzy. And we're just going to keep it going, man. We're going to switch things up. I got some interesting news at the end of the show today. Boom. There we go. Braxy is go. I'm sweating like Dom DeLuise out here, bro. But we going to make it happen. Braxy, what's up, man? All right. Nice. Braxton popped in. Here we go. Hold on. He's coming back, and that was awesome. I love it, bro. He like circled the block one time. He's like, hold on. Nobody's up in this club yet. Let me circle it one more time. Braxy, what's up, man?
Is it? You can see me now?
Yeah, I can see you.
That
can you see me?
It's showing like a little dialogue box on the bottom, so like I only see half my picture right now. It's like
oh shit, that was a real like you pop in the club and you're like you're like nah, there's not enough people here yet. Like let me circle the block one time.
Dude, it's heckin' trippy. There's literally half the screen is like just this thing that says send request, but I already did. And if I X out of it, it X's out of the whole thing.
You're good, bro. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. Happy Thursday. How you doing out there in Stockton?
Pretty good, just getting used to a new apartment that I just moved, and
nice.
It's hot. Like as you were saying, it's definitely
hot as hell.
Yeah,
it's hot as hell, man.
Yeah, and then like just even the tensions and stuff like that, and you know, Stockton's been pretty peaceful. I went on one of these bike rides recently for like solidarity with BLM and everything, and
I saw that. How was that?
It was really cool, and the crew that does that every Sunday, and
okay.
I just got my mountain bike working again recently too, so it's been cool just kind of like biking in general, and I've never done something like that. I know they do big things like that in San Francisco sometimes, and just in general, so it's cool.
Yeah, I saw that. I also saw Carlos Bryant and Ashley Gutierrez, like they put on the run, like downtown. Like there's been a lot of cool shit like that in Stockton. Yeah, that's dope you're able to do that, man. Are you ready? I know shit's crazy like you're saying. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. I kind of want to just kick back with this. I know you put a lot of time into this album. You're a creative cat that I know and I've known for a long, long time. So thanks for coming on, man. Let's kind of like kick back, celebrate the album. You're an educator, so I'll be on my best behavior. We ain't gonna smoke, we ain't gonna drink too much. But usually we do a toast to the album. Oh shit, I'm losing Braxy here again. Braxy, are you there? Oh no. He's the Teddy Riley of Stockton. There he is.
Call me. I pressed decline a bunch of times, so I'm back.
Oh, okay, you're good, dude. We usually do a toast. I know you're going to do something. What are you drinking today, Braxy?
I have some healthy stuff. I drank some beers the other night, but right now I'm just drinking some healthy stuff. It's like a turmeric shot from Trader Joe's.
Let's do it, bro. I love it. Hey, I want people to be them. I don't want to celebrate you how you want to be celebrated. I got a funny thing about that in a second, but let's get it going. You ready to rock?
For sure. Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, man. This is 2 Scratch Paper. We're talking to Braxy about his album Scratch Paper. This is the Re-Listening Party. Let's make it happen, bro.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Brax.
You know how that sounds.
Scratch paper. 209. Braxy. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Okay. As we're getting in here, Braxy, this is the first song. I'm gonna throw things off a little bit here. I got my own playlist here, so roll with me. All right, we're gonna kind of go out of order here.
Yeah.
The first thing I wanted to talk about is Boomerang. It's produced by Ofa Show. I love how you started. I love you throw the 209 at the top of it. Bro, Boomerang, where did you start it? Where did it come from? Did you get the idea before you hit up Ofa Show for the beat? Can you just tell me a little bit about the process for it?
I usually almost always write once I have a beat. So,
okay.
You know, once he gave me that, like, this kind of dark, eerie trap instrumental, I've been looking for that sound for a while. And honestly, I've made beats since I was like 14 or something like that. But that's not my, like, comfort zone when it comes to beats. My beats always end up sounding like alien or more like, I don't know, just more abstract or even like based in school band and things that I'm a product of.
Yeah.
And so, you know, Ofa Show always had a cool style. And I got that beat from him just off like some of the ones he had on the site and stuff like that at the time. Okay. It has the old tag, you know, it's not like, oh, for sure, are you kidding me? It's the
yeah, I noticed that too. Yeah, because particularly right now this week, I'm sure everybody who will eventually come across this saw this past week he had a huge hit with Carlos Bryant and Haiti Baby, M's. The Haiti Baby, yeah, the tag's on there. The tag's all over the place. So kudos to you for making it happen and getting this one going, man. I'm gonna be back and forth. I'm rocking the playlist and I got some notes going, but I love the sound of it. I think it's a great way to start the album. And let's keep it pushing here, bro, before we lose some rhythm here.
See it, I wanna believe it. Everyone's boomerang, or you believe it. Still see it and won't help it. Keep reading. Yeah.
Okay. Boomerang. First of all, what's it about? What inspired you to write it? I saw that you did the video. I love the video, by the way. SM Labs did the video. I watched your interview to get ready for this with the podcast Poppy of Stockton with Harmon Warhol, bro.
Yeah.
With the homie. So I'm gonna kind of take a lot of those, like the shout outs off your back for you, so you can just kind of tell me more about the album.
That's cool.
Yeah, bro. What is it about? Kind of where'd you get the idea? Where'd you first have the concept for Boomerang?
Honestly, the best way to simplify it is like the hook is kind of simple. And like I'm not good at simple hooks. A lot of times I'll do like kind of like 8 lines in the hook, and I'm like, dang, how would I want the audience to repeat this back to me when it's like a perfect, you know? So like, I wanted a hook that's a little bit more memorable. And even if you don't know the lyrics to this one, the sound, na 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 na, and that kind of, I feel like people could just yell stuff, and I'd be happy.
Oh yeah,
you know, just like
100%
kind of sound. Bro. And I don't know, like kind of like the idea of Boomerang is just like. I was thinking about even just the little filter thing on Instagram and just like how we're like in this era of just like constant putting things out constantly and like being under some kind of filter and being like comfortable with that. And I don't know, as cliche as it might sound, it's me like trying to like go against that grain. I still recognize the importance of a lot of stuff, but just being like, oh, I'm not trying to get absorbed by it fully because things are going to keep coming back. And so there's like a lot of ways that it can go with wordplay. I
fuck with it. That's kind of like a constant theme on the album. And you kind of reference something like that and going against the grain a lot and kind of being a little different. I love it. I think it's a dope way to start it. Let's keep it pushing.
I want to believe it. Everyone's stuck. Boomerang loops, leave it. Still see it. Won't help it. Keep reading. I'm leaving. Say it. No, I don't believe it. Everyone's stuck. Boomerang loops, leave it. Still see it. Won't help it. Keep reading. I'm leaving. I see it. Don't wanna believe it. Everyone's stuck. Boomerang or loop, believe it. Still see it and won't help it. Keep breathing. I'm leaving.
Love it. So that's Boomerang. I love the energy, bro. I love the turn up. I love the drop right there. I think it's perfect. I love how you switched it up at the end. You bring the tone back down, and it's a perfect like build. You got a lot of good builds on this album. The album was originally supposed to be called Fumes and Fresh Air. What was the change? When did that change happen? What made you transition over to scratch paper?
Honestly,
for the whole concept of it.
I don't know. With titles, I'll sit on them for a while. So like that Fumes and Fresh Air title might be used in the future still. But I like thought of that title way back in the day when I was working at my family's car wash and breathing in gas fumes all the time. And then when I'd go like to a national park or somewhere, I'd be like, oh, this is the opposite of that, you know, or just like, and you can see that as yin and yang or whatever. It was good and bad, just like the kind of forces and stuff. But I don't know, this album didn't feel like that title belonged. Then as I realized some of the tracks that were going to put on the album were like 5 years old, but then some were like 5 days old. I was like, oh, it's all my rough drafts, all my just kind of scratch paper, because some of them felt like rough drafts that shouldn't make it on an album, but it's also about me just letting go and be like, no, this is, they're all gonna fit, you know, why not?
Okay, I like that a lot. I like the idea of that, and I saw that you had been working on it for a long time. I think it's dope. I think that's something that we all kind of struggle with, and I think it's cool that you're able to like acknowledge that. And you're like, you were like, fuck it, I'm just gonna like, these are all at some point. I was, you know, working on them. They're all part of the process. This is all the scratch paper, like. That's bold, and that's not common as an artist. And we know a lot of people who don't put stuff out because they're scared of how it's going to get received. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have like 40 other songs that are unreleased right now too, so definitely.
Yeah, I fuck with it, man. Let's keep it pushing. We're talking to Braxy.
Okay, going with the whirlwind, no one let the world win. I made a couple bold moves, driving by my purpose, man. Obstacles are everywhere, try to face the roadblocks tastefully, I'm getting there.
So again, I love that build. I think it's awesome. GBK is the song we're talking about. I think you referenced that this one may even be pre-Masked Avengers, or the cat who made the beat, Tendre made the beat.
Yeah.
Who's Tendre? What's the story there?
So that's Shane from Masked Avengers. That's just like he still does rap. He's doing like Christian rap stuff lately, and he still has some bangers. He's been killing it.
Okay.
And that's like his newer producer name, so it wouldn't make sense to use his old ones just because that's what he goes by.
Okay.
And yeah, so he used to call himself Cosmic at one point, but
I saw that. I was going through your catalog.
Yeah, so Tendre is like his producer.
Tendre is Cosmic.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like Tender. It's like part of his last name too.
Okay.
Yeah.
That beat. When did he make that beat? So is it an older beat too, or is that just like you guys still working together now?
So Masked Avengers had our like last kind of like, I don't know, like time that we were actually doing stuff, probably around like 2013, 2014, when I was transferring to Cal State East Bay, and that's when I kind of transitioned into more solo stuff.
Yeah.
But you know, I always tell people too, like if they ask about the old MA stuff, we were sitting on a whole second album. So I was like, I always wish that stopped. And that was one of but it is what it is, you know. I thought it had a lot of potential, but it was like a unique hip hop Tron LP, a lot of crazy synths. It was like almost industrial or like almost EDM.
Is the sound more similar to like the Cosmic stuff that he was putting out that's on your channel?
Kind of, but even weirder. It was like going in its own direction. So I thought it was kind of cool. It was all over the place. But that was one of the beats from that album.
Okay, wow.
And I actually honored that because even the way I start flowing, I vaguely remember his first verse on that song started that same way, the same kind of pattern. I don't remember what he said, but it was like kind of similar, I think. So I just started with that.
That's dope, bro. You didn't let it die. I fuck with that. That's real scratch paper shit. Well, and we got to keep it pushing because there's a lot of ground to cover. But anybody who doesn't know Masked Avengers, bro, like coming up in Stockton, you guys were coming up like you're a couple grades older than me, but you guys were definitely like we were coming up at the same time. So like Masked Avengers, the name was everywhere. It was big. Masked Avengers were big in Stockton. Let's keep it rolling.
Rise up and run again. Yeah, we running in. With the bad times, find us gentlemen. Rise up and run again. Yeah, we running in. When the bad times find us better men.
When these fucking soul throws with the past fight, bitches up and go broke. Lost in the fast life, when these fucking soul throws with the past fight, bitches up and go broke. Lost in the fast life.
GVK. The sample was the sample already on there. What is the sample? Can you school me real quick? What is that on there? I'm uneducated on that.
Honestly, what you mean, like the vocal stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, we just did that in the studio. My engineer, you know, like we just played with the vocals, kind of everything at the end, that low voice and the other high pitched mod one and all that stuff was just takes that I did.
That's you talking.
Yeah, and then we just tuned it lower and Alex Delgado, the guy I worked with at Press, he was all for like my fun. That was another thing about this album. All my fun, weird, like little ideas I had. You know, I know money's on the line in the studio, so I was just like, I don't want to think about it. I was like, let's just do it, even if this little thing that's 9 seconds takes an hour.
Yeah.
So we would go in and just do some crazy stuff, and that's a lot of fun for me. Those kind of textures.
That's dope, man. You're the third person on here that's that's done a lot of their album at Press Recording Studio. Cloud9 Trizzy, Rob's done a lot of his album there. Z's done a lot of his album there. And you have as well. What was that like working there? How long have you been working there? And what have they added to your process?
So I do stuff at home a lot too, and I love doing it that way. But this was like the album that I wanted to record in a professional studio, and just like just to have that feel. There's something cool about recording, in good equipment and having the playback already sound really nice. And a lot of times engineers, I know what they're doing. I have a decent ear. So like a lot of times they'll be playing me back something. I'm like, you added some reverb and some stuff on this already, right? And they're like, yeah, how do you like it? And I'm like, shit, it sounds done. And it's like, oh, it sounds amazing already. I'm like, we can move on. So I feel like there's almost that godly feeling you get when vocals sound super good. And it just it just keeps you pushing to keep creating. So I would write like a hook in there sometimes. I didn't come fully prepared. I would just like write something right in the booth sometimes. So it all worked out pretty well. I love the atmosphere there. Alex was cool. And on the lines or like regards to recording there, the coolest thing was Alex and I didn't know each other. And then we recorded this long album together. So we become like homies throughout the process,
Wow. Okay.
And before you know it, we're cracking up. We're joking around. He's clowning on me, showing me like my worst takes where my voice cracked. And we're having some fun moments.
That's dope, bro. I love that. I still got to I really got to get out there. I've never been to the press. I don't know Alex. I don't know Diego, but I know so many people who know them and have worked with them. To me, they're good people.
Matt's awesome too.
Yeah, bro. To me, their rep is solid. I'm excited to meet them. And you guys did good work together. Let's keep it pushing, bro. The next song we're gonna talk about here is Over Here.
I'm over here now.
Gabs, let me know in the comments how that sounds.
You didn't even see what I just did, Johnny. I'm over here now. I was over there. Now I'm over here. Yeah.
Okay, before we push on too further, if you're just joining or if you're just coming across this video now, we're talking to Braxy about his album Scratch Paper. Braxy, previously of Screaming Silence, previously of Mass Avengers, and currently of Finkel is Einhorn. I'm not gonna give it away yet, but the dice sample on this at the beginning, the dice sample, is this you or is this our New York friend that we'll talk about here in a second? Whose call is that? Who picks the sample?
So Zeps likes references and doing all that kind of fun stuff. That was his idea to do the Dice Clay sample.
Called it. I knew it. Okay, awesome.
Yeah, and then it's cool because I love comedy and like I didn't know I knew of him, but I didn't know a lot of his work. So then it set me down a path of exploring like older bits and like
Hickory Dickory Dock, bro.
Exactly, and a lot of times I've heard bits without even knowing the person that was responsible for them.
Yeah.
So it was cool, and it set me down a path of exploring a lot of others.
Okay, very cool. The song we're talking about, it's Over Here. It's on the album. And like Braxy just said, it's got our friend Zeps on it. Let's keep pushing.
They play having curfew with some birds chirp. I think I'll throw a curve first. I eat to the knuckleball for the third verse. Spike them out, samurai rhyme, shogun. Not taking sugar, never hit the
Ooh, okay. You got Zeps on the album. Zeps is a better friend of yours. I've met him, I think, once or twice. Cool as fuck, bro. Yeah, where did you meet Zeps? How long have you been working together? And I mean, to me, he's a straight MC, bro. I checked through his past and his creds, and he's hip hop, bro. He's been hip hop for a decade. He looks younger than us, but he's hip hop. What's it been like working with him? How'd you start working with him? What's the deal there with you and Zeps?
I'm trying to think back to like when we first started working. I've done a lot of stuff with Zeps, and he's a good guy for the city. I'm always raving about him, just in general. His positivity, his mission to help the youth, his ideas of hip hop and literacy are really important too, and like his through rhyme, his books he does rhinosaurs. So like when he first came through, I think one of the first shows he played at when he first played, it was at Channel Brew, and it was like one of the shows. It was actually the show where I met Dialect and Yuck Nasty and all them too. And
okay.
And it was like, I feel like it was one of my better solo shows. Just like I was feeling it more. It was a good show. And I think he went on after me, and he brought up his little whiteboard, And I've always loved freestyling. So like, not a lot of MCs love freestyling. It's kind of a mixed bag or some people like, wouldn't want to freestyle on camera, but just do it with their friends only and only want to do the writtens to put kind of like, their best foot forward thing. But
Yeah.
I don't mind messing up and kind of, I love freestyling, and he's really good at freestyling. So we started going back and forth with a lot of freestyles and doing this thing, the 4-bar blitz, where we just like kind of pass back the beatbox and go back and forth, and got to some cool live gigs and just, been working with them. So doing a track together just made sense.
Yeah. I love it. I've seen you guys live. I saw you and Darian, you guys and Darian like do your thing. It's fun, dude. You guys are basically out there doing jabs. Fuck it, I gotta keep it playing because we'll talk more about that here. This is over here.
Reasons are in Stockton. That's the cold world when I'm making a concoction. Hip hop educate, rip shop devastate. 7 in climax, hip hop elevate. Give a run on the lake, cover when I feel so great. Stomping ground 510 209 90s, babe. Like the flow, guide the way, feeling like I'm Gandalf. Or some a side quest add to my fandom. Andrew, El Guapo, no Del Taco. Another for cerveza, es Molina, el señor Canepa, bringing you that boom back straight to your cabeza. Never carry dead weight. When I see that red tape, it's just a place I can play with. My brain that stays with, chill vibe, good times. Back, bring it back. That's rap.
Well, so I love the flow. I love you and Zeps working together a lot. Super cool. I love how you guys feed off each other. You do a lot of that on this album. I've seen you do it live. I think you're pretty good at that. You guys are simpatico, bro. When you and Zeps get into this flow, it's almost like jazz, bro. And I know that you're familiar with that. Can you talk about that chemistry? Like, I know you've been working together. When did it really click in, or what was like? Was it were you guys already doing Finkel's Einhorn, or were you guys just rapping when you guys figured out that chemistry is really there between his flow?
Like I said earlier, we mostly just freestyle, and we did this gig out in like Vacaville one time, where it was Goodface, me and him, and that was fun. And we freestyled like most of the drive up and way back and stuff. It's just like, and that track wasn't freestyle, so we wrote it. But I just went to his house and we just wrote it really quick. And I know what you mean about the chemistry. It's like it's fun writing bars with someone else. The simple go-to solution of like, oh, whatever you say on your last bar, I'll either pick up with a similar topic or a similar phrase or a similar rhythm, and like, I kind of like boom bap, and that 90s sound is what started me off on hip hop. And I didn't want to be a fraud to the scene when I first came in, so I listened to so much old stuff just to kind of get a feel, because I came into hip hop kind of late since I grew up on punk and stuff. So once I jumped in, I was like, oh, I want to listen to all the old stuff where it came from, just kind of similar to how like punk grew from somewhere as well. And that simple flow goes good with this track. I wouldn't have flowed any other way. It's that kind of like, paying homage to like the 90s New York kind of stuff. I already love that sound, so we just did a lot of wordplay and just wrote some rhymes that kind of echo each other. And it was quick. I feel like we wrote the song in like 40 minutes.
He was the perfect person to do it with, if that's what you're going for, bro. I love it. You may have been later to the hip hop scene, but anybody who knows you, anybody who knows Michael Canepa, like, to me, you're older than me, and we go back to doing band together. We were in high school marching band together, bro. So I know the music's in you. Like, you were always a good musician. Like, so whatever musically you wanted to do, it never seems to me, at least, like you're like crossing streams or whatever. It seems like you're just trying to grow musically. I've respected that. I'm gonna keep respecting that. Keep pushing.
Different age of my journey, and while he gave me right now, and the kids older, so I do right. I write too as a teacher and a wordsmith. Rhyme well, Seinfeld straight with the curve twist.
It's a profession. Another guy comes up here, he gets over drops the mic, trips over, it's not me. I'm over there. So now I came over here, but then I backed up, now I'm over here. You see what I'm saying?
Love it. Over here with Zeps. At the end, I love the shit you're talking about. I think that, to me, that was the first mention, or at least the first one that stuck out to me, the first mention of your teaching. If anybody doesn't know, if you're coming across this, Braxy teaches. You're an educator, bro. So thank you for being the first educator on here. Look at that. We're bigging up here on We Listen to Party. Braxy teaches at Lincoln, and before everything hit the fan a little while ago, you were also teaching Hero the Champ, motherfucking what's up? You were teaching an electronic class or a sampling class, music class at Lincoln. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? I saw that you brought in Steve Spiffler, when I saw that on the board, because Matt's my big brother. Like, we come from right there, Lincoln, together, bro. So when I saw that whiteboard in your classroom, it said like guest speaker Steve Spiffler. I mean, that was full circle to me. That was beautiful. You brought in Darian.
Heck yeah, I go back. Spiffler was the reason I started rapping too, because like
Wow.
I was in bands and I saw, because I was going to Lincoln and I saw him doing his thing, and I remember just being like, oh, I should, like, I want to try this too, you know, just like I like seeing the kind of the clout he was already getting was like a cool thing. I was like,
Yeah.
watch that, and yeah, so you know, it definitely goes back. I'm trying to think. The class in general is one of those things where it's been offered off and on throughout the years. And
When I was there, not to, I mean, to date myself, fucking, I graduated 2010, but I was an electronic music class. Like we were learning how to make beats, but the cat who was teaching it, you probably know him. He was the band director. I mean, he didn't really know anything about software, GarageBand. I mean, he didn't know.
What was his name at that point? Do you
That's
remember?
some disrespect right now that I don't remember his name.
It's all good.
I was trying to be subtle about it.
No, it's all good. I was just curious because I know that like it was these dudes Hines and King at one point, and that was cool. But then I guess some other people cook over that. I don't know how passionate they were about the program. So I feel like
exactly.
For a class like
That's the point I'm getting.
Yeah, you have to be passionate for a class like that because electives are already like kind of on the chopping block sometimes when it comes to like and everything. So I love that kind of stuff. I think it's super important, and I think it's also just comes down to admin sometimes. And when admin's down for the vision, it's a beautiful thing, and kids need that in their life. I mean, you know, I don't have to preach to you about this. Like, just imagine having like access to a bunch of cool sounds and samples, and you can make video game music or hip hop or EDM or whatever you want, or just learn about sound design. Learn it's not for you and go on to physical like visual art, or learn it's for you and end up getting a Grammy one day. Some of the kids that come through that program are just like so talented, making crazy beats. Gen Z is already on technology all the time, so they learn like software really quick. I noticed it's mind blowing.
That's crazy, yeah. Because back in our day, like even Matt, like shout outs to like Matt Bishop. Matt Bishop did the electronic music course, went on to, like you're saying, went on to work with huge bands. I mean, fucking, I'm sure if he didn't have a Grammy now, he'll have one within the next couple of years for his mixing.
See, that's dope.
What exactly is the course that you were teaching? What exactly is it called? And when did it?
It's called electronic music, and it pretty much is
okay.
Audio production and making beats on Logic.
Yeah, I love that. So I took that and that was formative to me. So I wanted to big you up, dude. I've asked you about it. I've hit you up multiple times about it. I wanted to come sit in when things were still going down.
Yeah.
Dude, thank you for doing that. As somebody who like came up and how formative that was to me, particularly at Lincoln, you going back and like and doing that. I respect that so much, dude, and that means a lot. And it's super important. And somebody has to fucking go and do it, dude. So you doing that is awesome. I just wanted to big you up on that, dude.
Yeah, that means a lot. I appreciate that.
Of course. Let's keep it pushing, bro.
2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
Gritty as fuck. And if anybody didn't know, if you're just tuning on, if you're just coming across this, that's Braxy playing the bass right there. I did my digging. Bro, you doing the bass on that? I love it. I love the feel to it right off the bat. It changes things up a little bit.
Yeah.
What don't you play? I mean, what do you play? Which one's a shorter list? Because I know you as being a drummer, playing the bass, playing the guitar. What's everything you play, bro?
I appreciate like the shout out on that. I don't even consider myself a bass player. You know, like I want to learn how to play bass well. That was just like a random lick that was, I guess, in my arsenal, and it works with my style. But if I was trying to play something like I would love to be able to lay licks like that on my stuff. You know, like groovy bass lines. It's a goal of mine. But I do some weird habits. I flip it on its side and I play the frets with my thumb, with my left thumb. So I play it like almost like it's a what are they called? Those lap guitars, those slide guitars that they have in country music. Those ones. Awesome. I play a guitar like that. I put it on my lap. So I don't know. Dope. I want to learn to play regularly at one point. Guitar and bass are on my list. Drum set, as you mentioned, is like more of a core instrument that's like more in my blood that I'm used to. And keyboard and piano is something I'm like intermediate at.
Because I think I remember you playing. I know you played back in the day. When I knew you were playing snare, and then I think they put you on like the bells kit. They put you on the bells kit, I think, at one point.
Yeah, I was always trying to do less each year. snare's such a grind. And then I was like, can I do cymbals? And I was like, I want to just be in the people that don't even march. Can I be on the side?
Damn, that's amazing, bro. That's phenomenal. I love it. So the bass, the guitar, is something you're learning. We'll talk more about that in a little while. But we're on Hunger. We're talking to Braxy about scratch paper. Hey. So we've talked a lot about your love for like the hip hop, the boom bap aspect of it, and the respect you pay to it. Like you've been paying respect to that field, like, and you looking up to Matt or his Spiff in that sense also makes a lot of sense to me because back in the day he was preaching fucking Tribe Called Quest, Dilla. He was that was religion. To me though, and we'll get more into it too as we push along. You really hit your stride when you're hitting these different areas. Like you have a certain pocket because of your music experience in rock and things like that. That's different. That not everybody who spits bars can tap into. Like when you hit this bounce right here at the end, there's times where you kind of border on rock. How do you feel about blending those sounds and how comfortable do you feel? Because it almost feels like, to keep it 100 with you, I love that. And to me, that's when you really hit your stride, is when you're in that kind of gray area. And it almost feels like you're getting more comfortable with showing that, but it seems like you've kind of been more focused on like making sure that people see the bars. What's it like balancing that?
That's a good call. It's so funny you said that because I've always wanted to do a track where I like scream even because I grew up on that stuff, honoring that stuff, and I haven't fully done that really yet. But yeah, I don't know. I agree with what you're saying. It's fun to have the regular tracks, but those ones are like, I think the vulnerability in doing tracks that are a little different, a lot of times I'm like, oh, I don't want to be corny because I know that like rap rock can be a corny thing when done like incorrectly. There's like this, I know you know what I mean too. There's like this fine line. If you have like a grungy little like distorted guitar, tin, 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 like it can be really cheesy if it's not done right. It can sound almost like it's forced. So I don't know, if the track calls for it, those are the most fun parts to record, where I'll stand back like 5 feet from the mic and just yell, and then we layer a bunch of yells. Even from the engineer standpoint, those are always so fun to stack up a bunch of yells and stuff and make it sound like it was a crowd, but it was just me. I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. So, and that little rhythm, it's just like a fun, bouncy rhythm. Like if I played it live, I hope people are bouncing right there. If they're not, then I think I failed.
I'm bouncing when I'm playing it, bro. I love that shit. I want some more of that. Well, I won't push you too hard on it, but I like that a lot. Let's keep it pushing here. Hold on. We're talking to Braxy. The song is Carpe Diem. It's off of Scratch Paper. It's produced by JC. Who is that? I gotta know because I love this beat. I love that bounce from the beginning. That it gets me going, bro. It feels very Dr. Dre. Where did the beat come from? Who's JC?
You should link up with them. I guess first off, to give him a little shout out. I think usually just goes by JC Prod. I think that's his whole. If he hasn't changed his IG, I think it's just that. And I think the way I met him was when Superfish was doing their thing. You went to Superfish a few times, right?
No.
Oh, but you heard about it and stuff? How Superfish was doing a bunch of open mics?
I think that might have been right after I left, bro. I dipped out super early.
Superfish is like Drex's other spot. He has Sweetbot Cafe, but he also has Superfish.
Yeah. Okay.
And, Superfish had like a really good scene for a while, especially pre-COVID, obviously, where like there's a bunch of really cool open mics over there. And, he just gave a place for people to do their thing. And, Stockton is just full of art. So like, a lot of really cool shows flourished there. And this fool JC would he would go up sometimes and I didn't know him that well. And then he would like really get in that R&B, super sensual singing and he'd like really hit it super well. And I was always a fan of just like, even when you sing like that, you have to be the right distance away from the mic. And again, my son for all the interior kind of design of sound and the engineering, like he was just really good at making the mic sound the way it should sound. And an amazing vocalist. And he picked up beat making really quick too, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on this. I guess don't quote me. We could find out after. But I think he kind of just jumped into it because I'd see his story and he'd just be like, "Oh, just got the setup," and he was making some fire. So hit him up. He does a good price for his beats, and he has tons and tons of beats, and he's good at producing different styles too. Like he can make one that's like really like new age sounding and one that's more old school. So yeah.
Oh shit, Cloud9 Trizzy, re-listening party alumni. Cloud9 Trizzy says Superfish Day is strong, bro. Okay, that's exciting. That's another endorsement right there. Now I gotta know. Boom, boom. That's that quick. Done. I gotta know. This is the long one. Strap in. This is the long one to keep us.
I can paint my own canvas anyway, so seize the day. I can paint my own universe and find a place to play. I can paint my own canvas anyway, so seize the day. I can paint my whole universe and find a place to play. Give me the mic so I can take it away. There's the rhythm and getting in my way as I'm paving the way. When I'm riding away from the cradle to the grave, they're gonna listen to what I say. You can hear it in the winds when we hide. 3 thieves will be yelling from the mountains. Don't suck around when it all falls down. Ain't no better way to pay dues than to pay 'em right now. Opportunity, I can do it, G. I'm the one to follow through with things. I'm the one to see through the foolery. See the truth, see what it do to me. I can paint my own canvas anyway, so seize the day. I can paint my own universe and find a place to play. I can paint my own canvas anyway, so seize the day. I can paint my whole universe and find a place to play.
Carpe Diem. Braxy featuring Dialect. I love it. I love the chorus. I love at the end, particularly how you guys kind of like the chorus builds to the second time you guys are harmonizing. There's layers on there at the end. It sounds fucking dope. I love how it tails out. Carpe Diem, first of all, where'd the idea come from? I love that. I think that's probably a big idea for you, as far as like particularly being an educator and keeping that idea going or momentum. But then also Dialect. I'm late to the Dialect party. I'm just getting on them. How did you meet him? What's the relationship? Because that's a great feature. That's a fire feature, bro.
Yeah, so I guess you could say 2 of the songs on this album are from that same first night at that show that Steps at that Channel Brew show. I met the whole like Rebel Activity team, or like the majority of them that night. Harmon, so Harmon, Yuck Nasty, Dialect, they all rolled together like in the squad that they were already making music and everything. And,
okay.
Yeah, Dialect and me, our sounds meshed pretty well. And when we first started kicking it, like, I feel like within no time we had a project going because I like Yuck Nasty style. And me and him had played shows together, a few shows back with Master Avengers, and like maybe never formally met, but had already rocked shows together. It's cool how those kind of things could happen in the scene. I'm like, oh, you used to play that show called The Function, huh? Yeah, he did dubstep. He's a dubstep DJ. And he also did like rap beats and like everything in between.
Okay.
And we did an album called 3 Thieves. Zach
I've heard it.
And Andrew Yuck Nasty, and that's how I met Dialect, and we just like started working. And I remember when I first met Andrew, he was telling me that like one of his biggest pet peeves, and I think a lot of producers can relate to this, is like sending someone a beat pack and then never hearing back from them, and the beat's never being used, or something like that, or selling someone a beat and they don't even use it or anything like that. It's like obviously when you collaborate with people, you want to actually create stuff.
Yeah.
So I was not trying to be like, I'll write so much, but I was like, I'm down. And he's like, are you sure? He's like, a lot of people say that. And I was like, yeah. And then he was stoked that me and Zach were like writing super quick. And he was like, dang, I got to make more beats. Cause we started like, we went at a quick pace. And before you know it, he was like, oh sweet, this is actually going to be a thing. So I think all 3 of us got stoked on that momentum, and the album happened pretty quick. So that's how I was vibing with Dialect, was just like our lyricism. We write in kind of a similar fashion sometimes.
Dope. Yeah, shouts to Dialect, shouts to Yuck Nasty, the 3 Thieves. I love that feature. I think it's super dope. Yeah, he came on spitting that fire for you, bro. He didn't come on with anything weak. He didn't hold anything back. That's a great feature.
I love his verse. Yeah, it was dope.
Wisdom Part 2. I only have one question. Is there a Wisdom Part 1? Where the fuck is it? Because I can't find it, bro. What's the deal? Was it?
Yeah, so I'm trying to think right now, too. Yeah, Scratch Paper, honestly, these conversations are cool because sometimes I'm an outward thinker, So even you asking that, I appreciate, because it's like these are huge throwbacks for me. And Master Avengers, which you referenced earlier, was like my first hip hop venture musically. Yeah. And we started in 2008, so this is a while back. That was the year I graduated. We started right when I graduated, and our second track we ever wrote was called Wisdom.
Okay.
So you'd have to go
that far back.
Yeah. So it's Wisdom Part 2. And honestly, It's funny because the original lyrics I wrote for that track all the way back in 2009, they're a bit like, I don't know what's the best way to say it, like a little boasty and me acting like I'm so like spiritual and so smart. And there's a few parts that are cringeworthy for me, but overall it's a decent verse. It's aged okay. So the original, I went back and I was like, this is not bad. It's kind of crazy to think the things I was saying at 18, I still want to keep saying at 30 in different permeations, you know, in slightly different ways. But it's like my core hasn't fully shifted.
That's dope.
Still stays.
And a lot of our peers, like, I think that's very Stockton too. I think a lot of our peers have that as well. Like a lot of the cats that we came up with, like they've gone through all different experiences, but I still know when we sit down, like I know that person at the core. I know like who they are. I know their morals. I know kind of like what inspires them. You're right. I fuck with it, bro. Let's keep it pushing. Echoes. I think this ties in perfect. This is a great segue because we're just talking about you went all the way back with Wisdom. Echoes. I saw that this is something that I thought it was super dope. That you said that you had like from a voice memo, you went back, you revisited it, and you remade it. I love that. I think that's super dope. That ended up on this album as well. How old was the original demo? And did it sound like this originally at the beginning? Because I love the ambience. Like I love those tones that you start off Echoes with.
I want to say I made it like in 2014 or 2015. I lived in this tiny little garage, like no way up to code room in Hayward when I was going to college out there. And although it was like the tiniest little spot, and you know, it wasn't ideal, obviously, it's like the epitome of a college spot. I made a lot of good tunes in there, and I learned how to grow as an artist. And a lot of those songs that would never come out, but yeah, probably right around that time, 2015, I made the beat, and I was always self-conscious about the beat. And I don't know, sometimes the power of listening to what other people say is too powerful. You know, I'm sure artists, you know that, like we gotta trust our gut sometimes. And I feel like a lot of my friends were like, yeah, that one's not one of your best. And I heard it too many times about that track. It like cemented it in my mind. And then years later, as I've matured as a person and like, it's easier for me to kind of just like, you know when the advice is important and know when I really want something to come out. I like went back to that track years later when I was living with my friend in Stockton, and I was like, dang, this like has potential. If even just the chord scheme, I know it's not like the drums are not super crazy or anything like that, but yeah, like the wavy kind of just subdued vibe. I like it. It's fun. Yeah, no, you were right. There was something there, and sometimes you got to stick to that. I love that you spoke about that in your interview with Harmon Warhol. We chat with Harmon Warhol. I love that. That was one of the things I picked out too. I love that you kind of stick to your guns. You're like, no, I fuck with this. Like whether or not like anybody else says about it, like I fuck with it. And I think you were right to revisit that. And there was something there. You were 100% right, bro. I love it. I like the concept. It's funny too because like slow tracks like that are never my comfort zone, but that's one of my favorite tracks on the album. It's probably my top 3.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's get a little more of it.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun singing.
Dope. Super dope. Let's get more of it.
Even when it sounds distant, even when it sounds distant, even when it feels distant, even when it sounds distant, when it sounds distant. Oh, every day we just go like that, and still live our way. Oh, God's game, enough like this, let's be like always. Oh, every day we just go like that, and still live our way. Oh, God's game, enough like this, let's be like always.
Ooh, Echoes, we're talking to Braxy. I love it, dude. That's another. I think that's probably the second example that I picked out where I really feel like the balance between like the rock rap aspect. I love that blend because that melody. I mean, it sticks you. The whoa, every day is a light that shines. I love it, dude. I love it so much at the end. What you're saying, listen to your inner voice even when it feels distant. I love everything you're saying there. I think it's on point. Echoes, what does it mean to you before we push on?
Heck yeah.
All right. Let's go then, bro. The next one's Artifacts. Artifacts. Okay. Artifacts. I know the idea of this and the concept of this is resonates with you a lot because I don't know if you want to give it away. Is the next album still called Artifacts? And you self-produced this track. Talk a little bit about making the beat, what the concept of Artifacts means to you, because I know that at a certain point a while ago it did resonate a lot with you. And is the next album still called Artifacts? Give me those three.
All right, multi-question. Gonna make my brain work. So I don't know the fate of that album quite yet. I'm working on with Darian. I don't know if it's still going to be called Artifacts. That album is actually fully recorded already, pretty much. Like maybe right when Scratch Paper was finished, I recorded a second 10-track album with Darian. And,
wow, Darian Fields.
Yeah, and
the homie. Shout out to Darian Fields.
Yeah, and we vibed on that album, and I got some good advice from him. And I had Alex Urbano, one of my friends, play bass on a few tracks, and it's kind of at a standstill right now. And no pressure. I haven't even really reached out to him too much about it. But we at least recorded it. I don't know exactly what's going to happen. I might even, make it like a SoundCloud and Bandcamp only release, or I'm not too sure. I might do something a little different with it. I might stream it. That's still kind of up in the air. I might change the title. But those songs still exist, and I still definitely want to drop them at one point. And Artifacts as a word is a bunch of things. One of my friends had a local band called Artifacts at one point. Artifacts, the hip-hop group from back in the day, are super dope, and they're foundational when I was listening to hip-hop.
Dope.
And just my own artifacts, this whole thing we've been talking about. I always forget how present it is in this album until I look back and, this track is a perfect example of what we were just saying, that, I have friends that even, right when I dropped the album, I'm getting close to putting it out, are you sure you want that track on it? That's Artifacts on this album. And it's funny because I have other friends that are like, Artifacts is dope. One of my homies, Mikey, did a little drum cover to it where he played snare over it because he was working with Lincoln Drumline, and he used that one out of all the tracks. And I don't know, it is kind of like the weird avant-garde track. It's definitely a little out there, but what I say on it's really important to me. And I wasn't super in love with the instrumental, but it was one of those things where the lyrics were attached to the instrumental. I couldn't throw this one away. And even if everyone I knew said that I should not let this one be on the project, it was that one that I was just maybe it'll be in the later tracks. It won't be track 4 or 5, but I definitely wanted to make sure it was on there. And it's kind of a slice of my old style. I'd say this lyrical approach is what I was going for in 2014. Almost too much. I have 10 tracks that are exactly like this kind of like Aesop rock type, more I don't know, trying to shove a bunch of words in and make them make sense to me and stuff.
I fuck with it. And yeah, what you're saying is very important. Here's to me the body of it. To me, this is the body of it. Hold on. Ooh, I'm skipping some shit.
Use my ashes, use the whistle. USD flash drive wrapped up in form. These are rusty was my favorite things. If I take time to make them for my CDs. Hope that we can be 3 pieces in my name. Stick my pollution, put away today. Leave behind poetry, wave out artifacts. Happiness, nonsense, blurry eyed cataracts. These are the things that don't bring me some peace. Or leave me in pieces, floating with debris. Where do we go? Where do we go? Oh, where do we go? Where do we go? Oh.
That's Artifacts. I love it. I just wanted to say, I know you're talking about, you're saying, the body of that to me. I love the sentiment about leaving something, things that mean a lot to you after you're gone, bro. I like sports too. I'm a man still at the core. I like sports. I don't love sports. I like sports. To me, there's nothing intrinsically you about how someone throws a ball, catches the ball. It's cool, but to me, someone putting together their thoughts like this, putting their personality, putting their emotions, and their hard fucking work into something like this, to me, this is that shit that matters. So you talking this shit, you talking about leaving a legacy, this is to me something that needs to be celebrated. I love that you put it out like that. Artifacts. I mean, what does that mean to you? When you think about legacy, what are you most concerned about leaving behind? When you think about that?
Yeah, I think you said it pretty well. You already kind of summed up how I see it, and it's kind of dark. But I've even told my roommate in the past, or people I'm living with, hey, yo, if I pass, make sure this album drops. Finish. Yeah,
we all have
parts. That. I'm if I was in the middle of an album and I passed earlier than anticipated, you never know, obviously. I would hope that someone would kind of piece together the current project I'm working on. And that's why I'm optimistic, and I'm like, I want to leave behind my words and my poetry, and hopefully lead towards others making art or finding the same solace and like therapeutic mechanism that it has in my life. I want others to find that as well. And if I could lead like a breadcrumb trail to them to get there, that'd be awesome. But it's also like, there's a little bit of doubt in that verse too. I'm like, hopefully at least 3 pieces to my name. I'm like, will I even get 3 albums out before I pass? So like, there's still a little bit of like, it sounds all optimistic, but if you really look at the lines, I'm like, shoot, Scratch Paper is my second rap project solo already. So I hope I can get out 3. So it's like,
yeah, man, I swear to big you. No, yeah, I mean, fingers crossed for you, Braxy. We're all pulling for you here. I love it. I think you should be proud of it, bro. And I just wanted to say that to you. If nobody said that to you, like, hopefully long time from now. But whenever you do leave, you've left, you know, who you are as a person. You've left your morals. You've left that shit, and that's gonna stay. You made it. You put your hard work in, and that's there. So that, you know, that's solidified. People can go through your body of work, and you did it, bro. I just wanted to big you up on putting it out there.
I appreciate that.
This is Horizon. To me, this is the main single off the album.
I'm holding control in 1 hour. Forgotten about rusting paint. It bears on me.
Whoa, okay. To me, that's the main single, Horizon. I love it. It's produced by Reese. I know he's FS Max's brother. I don't really know him. Has he worked with anybody else that we know? Because it's the first beat that I've heard his tag on. And if not, bro, that's phenomenal. Fine, because that beat is crazy. That beat's crazy.
Yeah, it really is. Honestly, I haven't caught up with that dude in a while, and I haven't talked to Max in a while. I got to catch up with him.
Okay.
I hope he's still producing, and he should be. Dude, if you heard his other beat packs he sent me, he's insane, dude. He's like,
how old is this cat?
He's a little prodigy.
Damn.
When I bought that beat off him, he was still a high schooler, I'm pretty sure.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
nuts. I love
man.
that.
Dude, I remember at one point I saw him post something about how he was trying to like achieve like Drake's more like salsa sound, you know, like the other sound he goes for sometimes. It's more like that like Afro-Cuban kind of stuff. And he made a joke about like, let me just try it out. Like, let me just like, you know, like acting like he's not about it. And then he posted some tracks that sound like Drake would buy the beat. You know, like that dude's nuts. Yeah, he's really
damn, okay. That's exciting stuff. Wow, way to get on it early, bro. Yeah, way to get that out early. I mean, like that's another thing. I think you're really good at that too. That's one of the things I've noticed. I went back to your shit. I like that you identify people with talent out of the city too. Like you're working with Oprah Show very early. You're working with Reese very early. I think that's something that's very cool, and I like that about this.
Heck yeah.
Let's keep pushing, bro.
Population moving towards simple things. Simple sport, burn the books, make it down to megabytes. Sick and more, speak no more. Stop the beat, my night awake, wait for me. Wheeling outside the door, let me back to reality. Upon the cross that I wait, I ride on to where he's the same gun that I thought would be someday. Running as well. Same torch, primal man, held with their hearts. The same flaming little nuisance warming up my car. The same trace that reminds me I can't restart. In a certain sense, we always are. Yeah. In a certain sense, we always are.
That's Horizon. So we're talking to Braxy. We won't talk too much about it in the video because we're running low on time. This is the longest one thus far. I love it. Fuck with it. But I love the video. I know you shot the video up like near Humboldt or whatever. That's one thing I gotta big you up on too. If you're watching this, I would recommend go to Braxy's YouTube channel. He's done a lot of work. I love it. You got a lot of visuals up there. That's one thing that I'm very impressed with. I respect that a lot. I think it's very, very important, and I applaud you for really like buckling down on that and making sure you have a lot of visuals to go up there. The video looked fun. Can you tell me a little bit about the song and the video, the whole process for Horizon? I love it.
For sure, and I appreciate you saying that. Like, I want almost more videos. Sometimes videos are just fun to make, so it's always a good time having a vision with 2 people, ideally even. like with the SM video, well, I think he calls himself Fifth Dimension now too.
Oh wow.
He kind of led that one for the
Okay.
Boomerang, but with this one, I worked with my friend Brian Dunn, who has a film thing called Lost in Times Films.
I saw that.
And
Yeah.
I worked
Okay.
with Brian since we had an MA video come out in 2010 that he made back in the day. So like, we've been working with this cat for a while, and you know, I've known him for a while. He was in Drumline back. He's older than us, so he was in Drumline back in the day before we even like went to Lincoln.
Oh, he's older than grades above you.
Yeah, he's a couple grades above me. I think like when
Damn,
I was starting,
okay.
I think when I was starting, he was a senior. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't even get.
So he's all about like flying drones and just having fun with his equipment. And he was telling me that he has a new camera that's like really good at autofocus even. So like if you're running through the forest or anything like that, it's like has a better system. I don't know a lot about videography, but a lot of times
That sounds like something though. He would think that
stay
would.
away from auto, you know, like do manual because it looks better. But the new autofocus on some of these cameras is nuts. So even if he's like running with me on a gimbal, it's still going to keep me pretty sharp. So he just wanted to test out his new equipment pretty much. And man, bless that guy's heart. Originally, I was like, you shouldn't have to drive that far because I was already on a road trip where I was going to be in coastal Oregon and Northern California and Humboldt area. And I was already going to be tripping around there and just having a good time, whatever. And it really was bad timing. I got a horrible cold like on the second night of the trip, and I was at this beautiful Airbnb, and I just like felt like feverish. I got like sick out of nowhere. I've never had that bad of a timing on a trip where I was like, man, I already got hotel booked in Oregon.
Damn.
Like I was stubborn. I was like, there's no way I'm gonna not enjoy my trip. I'm just gonna enjoy it coughing and being a little slow. You know, I was just like, I gotta do this. And
Rocket.
And he said he was kind of sick, and we both met. And he drove up 5.5 hours from Stockton.
God damn.
I think he left at like 2 a.m. and then took a little nap in the morning. And then he hit me up. He's like, where are you? I'm like, dude, I'm coming down from Brookings, Oregon. It's a 3-hour drive for me too. And we were both kind of grumpy already, both kind of sick. I'm glad it all worked out. But we drove so far, you know. He didn't ask for any extra compensation. He was just down because originally I was like, oh, we could shoot it in like Forestville or Santa Rosa. He's like, if you want trees, we might as well go to actual trees. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, oh, you got to go up north to get like the giant ones. So like,
giants, bro.
I know those crazy huge ones.
Yeah.
So I was like, why not? It was fun.
Very cool, dude. Yeah, I love it a lot. I love the video. Yeah, I urge you to go check out Braxy's YouTube channel. We're gonna round it out. We're almost sliding into home, Braxy. We got one more here, like 1.5. This is Love Notes. So let's get it going. Okay. The guitar is the guitar you, first of all?
Nope.
Who's the guitar?
Mark Areno. Have you ever met him?
Okay. The name sounds familiar.
Maybe you guys' circles have collided at one point. He's a good guy. I grew up with him and his family, and he actually played one of the parts of my last EP too on a song called Still Life. So I've worked with him.
Oh, I know. Okay.
I like he's all about like grunge and that kind of like 90s alternative style and doing some like cool like eerie minor chords and stuff. And on this one, I wanted to model it after just like folk music or simple acoustic music, just something really. So I kind of gave him the bare bones of what I wanted, just like gave him my vision, and then we just went in the studio and he made a little lick and we recorded him playing acoustic and layered it a few times. And I forgot, did we layer electric? Yeah, I think we layered, and then I played drum set on it at the end too. Oh,
that's you. Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
We'll get into the end. We'll get into the end. I love the choice for the tone at the end. I love that you switch it up to this. It reminds me of this. I tried to. If you're watching this, I tried. I hinted at Braxy bringing the guitar on because I know he was trying to get better. I know you're trying to get better at the guitar. So you asked me like, oh, should I be by somewhere to put music? I was like, no. I'm like, I'm gonna have a guitar nearby. I'm like, that'd be awesome. I was like, let's see what he says.
I'm not good enough yet. I'll maybe keyboard next time. We'll see.
All right, next time I'll hold you to that, bro. But this what it reminds me of. I love the choice for tone. It reminds me a lot of this one.
Walked out of my lonely wall. I've been had away too long.
Oh shit, Braxy. I love it. Shit, we got 22 seconds. I'm so sorry. This was the re-listening party with Braxy. I love the album so much. Braxy, where can they find you online?
Braxy49 or Braxy.sounds on Instagram, or just search Braxy209 on YouTube. There's a big video game streamer named Braxy, so he's taking over some of that stuff. So you gotta search Braxy.